Welcome to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer. Today joining us, we have Mr. Travis T-Bone Smith in the house. Thank you for being here, Travis.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
All right, T-Bone, man, I got to say, Lauren is like one of your biggest fans. In her golf nights at Lone Oak, playing the euchre for mother of a young child. Her night getaway, man, that was a big night for her. So,
oh, she's always fun to play cards with, and she always has a great time trying to say she knows it all.
She makes euchre fun, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, we always enjoy her when she does come in and play.
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing her in with open arms, her and all of her card playing abilities.
Well, funny story is I taught her how to drive a manual transmission car.
That's right. Yeah.
My Geo Tracker was my first car back in high school.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So those run pretty smooth out of that first gear.
Oh yeah, that was I told her it was the easiest car you can start out with, and she struggled for a while. But I think she drove in Chicago with a Honda or something like that, manual. So
yeah,
I think she did well, and hopefully I did well.
I think so, because I think all of her cars for a long time were manual, and it all comes back to that. That's phenomenal. Nice. So euchre at Lone Oak.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Is that Thursday night? What night is that?
That is actually tonight.
That is. Are you missing it tonight?
It's all right. They got a lot of players. I'm happy to be here. You know, I've heard a lot about it. Listened to your station and whenever you're on, and it's pretty cool.
It.
I enjoy your show.
That's awesome, man. Thanks so much. Now with the euchre, y'all play with sevens there?
It depends on who's playing.
Okay.
Some people refuse to do sevens and up, and some people only want to do nines and up. So.
Okay. All right. So it just depends on the night.
Depends on who's there and on the night. Usually them old guys, they don't like doing the old sevens and up. That's too new for them. So they can't count them cards that well.
I'm telling you. So growing up, we always played with nines, and then I think the Shanty is the first time I was exposed to sevens.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, what is the point of this?
Well, that's how I was taught.
Your hands.
I was taught with sevens and up, and I think it was with Bud and Nick Schmidt, Ringer, and them, and it was always entertaining.
Yes. Talk about crappy hands.
Yeah.
But that makes it more fun, too.
Well, if you get the crappy hands, the game will go on a little bit quicker.
Right. So when I deal, I always confirm my deal based off of how many cards are in the, the ones that didn't get dealt out. So then you flip the one on top. But with nines, there's 4. How many are there with 7?
Oh, 7 would be 4.
That's...
I think it's 8. Is it 8 or 12?
I think it'd be 12. It's 4 cards.
I haven't played 2, sevens and up in a hot
plus 4,
minute.
You're 12. That's going to mess up my deal.
Oh, now I'm
Another
going
reason for
to
nines.
have to figure out how many there are now.
Right? That's phenomenal. Awesome. Well, so interesting, and I didn't know this until just a little bit ago. You're originally from Nebo.
Yes, I grew up about, I would say, 3 miles outside of Nebo towards, I think it was to the south of Nebo, actually.
Okay.
It's about, I think, if you get up to where the
Harpools, Heartland Lodge, or it's now something different, but Heartland Lodge. Yeah.
You take a left, right to go to Heartland Lodge, you take a left, you go down that road. I live down that road between the 2 bridges right there.
Okay.
I think McKinnon owns it or something now or something. I can't remember who we sold it to.
Okay.
That'd been 20 years ago, and I didn't get the choice in the matter, so.
Right, 10 years old.
We had about 200 acres there at one time.
Oh, wow.
All
Okay.
pasture and hardwoods, and I miss that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then y'all did livestock there?
Yeah, we're majority livestock growing up. We had hogs, sheep, goats, chickens. We didn't have no cows.
Yeah.
But we grew up on that, and we didn't eat much beef growing up. It was pork or lamb or goat. So
All good options. Nice. And then, so you're now outside of the Carrollton area, right?
yeah, we moved over to Berdan, Illinois,
Okay.
and my aunt had a farm east of Carrollton, and me and my brother had the opportunity to purchase that farm about 5-6 years ago, and
Awesome.
this last March was our last payment on that farm, so we now own that whole farm.
Congratulations.
It's only 130, but we got something with our names on it now. and
That's incredible.
We're happy about that.
Okay. What do you do with it?
Well, it's more it's not enough acreage to farm.
Yeah.
We've never been a farming family, so
Okay.
I think my mom's dad was a big farmer back then. Then depression hit, and they lost it all, and we got
Yeah.
to keep a little bit what we had left,
Okay.
and hopefully gonna fix up the fences, clean up a lot of it from what my aunt had it,
Yeah.
and maybe run some cattle on it,
Okay.
hopefully, and me and my brother, and hopefully get to enjoy that. But fence cost and everything cost of everything right now is so astronomical. Like me and the old lady were trying to build a home out there. It's just like, do you spend $500,000 or what do you do because everything's so expensive anymore? So
Yeah. Yeah. Things have gotten out of control. And, the history says it's just going to continue.
oh yeah, and I hope one day I get to see like it was whenever I was growing up. But right now it's just like it's hard to do anything anymore. And
Yes, sir.
like luckily I got my brother to always back me up on what we can do out there. And one of these days we'll have all the fences fixed up again, because
Right.
that's where you run into is like your great grandfather put that fence in 100 years ago. Now they're all crap. So,
Right. Well, how does that work? Isn't there like kind of like a neighbor share there? You're responsible for such and such fence line? Or
it just depends
they can
on your
contribute?
neighbor, to be honest with you. So like if your neighbor doesn't have to take it, if I help you pay half of it.
Okay.
If the only time they will have to help you is if they had cattle themselves
Ah.
or livestock themselves.
Okay.
So if let's say you had nothing over there, I wanted to run cattle, like, hey, will you go in half? Like, no, I'm never going to own a cow.
Right.
But then they'll probably come bring a cow in the next year. So,
Yeah.
but
Now that you got the fence fixed, I think I might get a pet.
yeah, that's
Okay.
just, I know some people will do it but not a lot of them will. Most anybody just builds it. They pay for themselves, and hopefully both neighbors can get along and maintain it as good as you put it in. So
Right. And so that being said, how do you maintain it currently? Are you shredding it or
well, right now the fence is non-existent. Mm-hmm. It's just so run down and everything. We're hopefully going to be putting brand new in, take maybe a dozer, go around our whole edge and put a wholly new fence in. And
what about like you got any pastures or open areas out there?
on our South 40, that was original home piece on there. There's probably a 200-year-old cabin there.
Oh,
My
wow.
Aunt June was born in that cabin, my mom told me.
No
And
kidding.
it's still standing. It's a little sunken in, but it's still standing. There's a pasture kind of back there, but
Okay.
because the rest of it's mostly just timber, and we got about 40 acres of tillable.
Oh, okay.
And we cash rent that out
All right.
to a local farmer in Carrollton. And
Awesome. I bet that makes for some pretty good hunting land.
yeah, we enjoy it. We've had some very fortunate years out there.
Okay.
Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, about 4 or 5 years going into that, we were having deer killed 170 to 200 inch deer killed out there. My buddy, he killed a 180 inch deer on me, biggest deer we ever killed off our farm.
Wow.
And then the neighbor killed the biggest deer that had ever been killed in that area. It was a 200 inch deer that some 16-year-old kid got it done, and
Oh, man.
thought he killed a spike that morning, he said. And he had a little 6-inch drop on him, and unfortunately the drop broke away whenever, I guess after he shot it, hit it off a tree or something like that. And,
Oh, no.
and that was a really cool deer to recover, help with that family and everything.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you're seeing deer, you know, you're talking mostly timber. You said you got, you know, a small percentage of the total acres are in ag. What do you see the deer do mostly? You know, or do you see them coming out to the ag, or do you see them, you know, bedded, eating acorn? How would you describe the deer behavior on that property?
Probably more coming out to the ag because of anymore. I find the hardest part of my hunting the last 5-6 years is the undergrowth in our timbers.
Okay.
Especially out there, you can't hardly even walk through my timber anymore.
Okay.
When that green honeysuckle came through, it's pretty much ruined the timber hunting around me.
All right.
I mean, I'm trying to get it cleaned up now so I can do a little bit more timber hunting, but that just takes time and a lot of money to do that, because I heard you can have a airplane or helicopter spray it that kill that honeysuckle, but it's just I need to look more into it, because I heard my cousin has thought about going to be doing that on his farm this year.
Okay.
And I want to see how that actually turns out, see if it's actually worth the investment of doing that.
Okay.
And everything, because like there's like back on my South Fork, we do have a pasture that is surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
And it's about a 10-acre pasture there. We got it all dozed up, and we've been putting food plots in and enjoying that. It's really cool watching them all come through out of everywhere. I mean,
every direction.
It's just a little place out in the middle of the timber, 10 acres, that just everything comes through there. That's really neat to watch.
That's awesome.
And I'm always a big advocator of youth hunting.
Yes.
I don't care if I kill a deer every year.
Right.
As long as a youth had their chance to kill one. My mother, she is 60. Oh, she's 60. So 68 now.
Okay.
She just retired 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And she finally started coming back hunting when she was the one that got me into hunting.
Really?
My father never was a big hunter, and she got my brother into it, and then she got me into it. And it's kind of cool now. I take my mom out there and watch her pile up some deer. She's a better shot than I am some days. And
yeah,
it's nothing better than watching your mom or a child or with their face light up when they kill. It could be something really small, it don't matter. And that's where I'm at, you know. As long as I'm making somebody happy at the end of the day, is I don't care if I kill something huge. I'd love to kill a huge one. And I was fortunate enough this year to get a nice one. But it's nothing more rewarding to me than watch my mom tag out Friday morning to an hour into these kids come out there and just have a blast, you know, like, Ollie.
Yeah.
He's 6 years old, and that little boy can shoot. And he killed his biggest little deer this year, a little 8-pointer. Well, we thought we couldn't find him when we actually walked up on him, and that boy was as happy as he can be, and you cannot smack that happiness off his face.
That's what I'm talking about. That's, you know, so much of what hunting has turned to is so, like, just black and white, and you got to do this and you got to do that. And then, you're coming to find out that some of the information that they've been pumping, to us for years about, how to manage a herd and your ratios and it's not, they're finding that it's not exactly accurate what they've been saying for years. So now all of a sudden, let's rethink this. And so it's like, why are people beating themselves up so bad about, what are they shooting?
Like when I was younger, probably back when I was a high school career,
Yeah.
I used to get upset when somebody would shoot a small deer.
Yeah.
But anymore, I don't buy their tag. And you know what? You can shoot whatever makes you happy, but don't come to me and say, I can't kill a big deer. I'm like, well, you need to wait. If you want to kill a big deer, don't shoot the first deer that walks by.
Right. Or if you've identified your objectives,
Mm-hmm.
I want to kill a big deer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to look at the deer that are presented to you and make a decision as to, is this a future big deer or is this a deer that's not going to grow any bigger?
Mm-hmm.
And I just see so much of that. I had a guy tell me I went to go help him. He wasn't one of my hunters, but I went to go help him recover his deer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 2-year-old 8-point. And he said he was happy with it, and that's great. We also made the comment of, we just don't see that many big deer around here. And so, I think these are examples of sometimes you just got to look at your objectives and kind of plan accordingly.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna say that, it's just like, man, why'd you shoot that 2-year-old 8? It's like, if you're not happy with them at the end of the day, that's what's the point of even going? In my mind,
100%. T-Bone, to throw another layer on it, I get a lot of deer tooth aged,
mm-hmm.
and it's the one with they got to cut the bottom and size are open, and they count the rings like a tree, and they go through this process. It's supposed to be the most accurate way of doing it.
Yeah.
And take what you think you know about deer and throw it out the window. There's a lot of deer that, get shot, and I'm sure this happens out at your place, where you're looking at him and going, how old is that deer? And, sometimes you got guys saying, oh, it's a 2.5. Ends up being a 4.5. Or you shoot a deer that body-wise, this thing's an absolute tank, hard to get in the back of a pickup truck. And, hey, maybe his antler mass isn't quite what it could be.
Well, that was like that deer I shot this year. I killed it during muzzleloader season.
Okay.
That Friday night of muzzleloader season.
Okay.
Probably one of the best hunts I've had in 5-6 years,
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you it's been the same probably over in Calhoun or Pike, wherever you're at, and seeing the deer has been really rough, I think, because the timber, it's just changed so much. I mean, a lot of the time, I remember used to going hunting in timber, hunting a lot in the timber, and now you're mostly stuck to the edge. At least that's around here where I'm at usually, because I have I'm fortunate enough to hunt on the Eldred Bluff down there, off my old job, and my brother still works there. And I remember 20 years ago going in there, you could see down at the bottom of them ravines and see them deer go up and down them. And I watched the progression, because that's where the place I always went, in that ravine. Killed my biggest deer in that ravine, kept on hunting, and then that buckbrush came in and just got it harder and harder and harder, and finally we got out of it, and we're stuck to hunting on the edges.
Yes. Yeah. And so let's go back to that a little bit. But first, we're going to take a break, hear a word from our sponsors, and we're going to talk a little bit about that thickness that the timber's been getting to over the past several years. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer. For those of you just joining, Travis T-Bone Smith, and we were just talking about, I guess, the honeysuckle that's kind of become an invasive species within the woods. And, we touched earlier on, it seems like an herbicide application, whether it be helicopter, airplane, drone, they use glyphosate for that. And because the honeysuckle, the leaves are some of the first to green up and some of the last to go away. So if you can hit them while they're still green, they'll absorb glyphosate, and we got a shot at killing them. I just went down a rabbit hole on this on YouTube, just trying to look at different. I don't know if it's because it's scary or what, but a lot of people aren't really talking about fire.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about setting your farm on fire?
I thought about it, but then I wouldn't have enough manpower probably to get away from me, and I'd have to pay somebody back a house or something like that.
Well, that's the scary thing, I guess. Now, I've been fortunate. One of my landowners is a forester.
Okay.
And he does quite a bit of burning. So I've observed. I even went out and got one of those backpack blowers so I could be of assistance and, worthy of, hey, we're coming to burn. All right, I'll be, and just try to learn what they're doing. But it, from what I'm seeing, if you take the precautions, create the fire breaks, and you get a crew of people, you get some guys that have done this before, it seems like a pretty viable option.
Have you seen it in like 4 or 5 years down the road? Has it like kept it out?
A friend of mine had a patch of woods, had it bad. And they may have had a fire get away from them, climb the ridge, and go a little bit farther. I'm wondering. I don't know where the fire went out or how they got it. I don't know, but it got away from them. Yeah. And we were on a side-by-side ride, and somebody commented how good the woods looked.
Really?
And he said, well, that fire that got away from us really knocked it back.
Really?
Yeah. The stuff that I'm seeing has to do more with you're killing your minor. So let's just say your mid-level growth. Okay. And then your small growth. Okay. And I think that stuff might have to do with, the real, I guess, the real thing you got to get to is the roots. Okay, yeah. And therefore the glyphosate would be effective. But I think when it comes to reapplication and timing and cost, if from what it sounds like, from what I'm seeing, if you do, a few years of controlled burns, you really can knock it back good. The other stuff I'm seeing is like these university, groups that are out there literally plant by plant, plucking, cutting, stacking, and I just have a hard time with that. When you're creating habitat for predators, brush piles, stuff like that, you might be creating rabbit brush piles, but I think you're also creating some, good habitat for predators, as to where in the natural environment, your rabbits or other small game would be able to thrive without the piles. Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think? Would it be possible to to do a controlled burn out there? Or would that ever interest someone like you that's got a piece of property that's overgrown by honeysuckle?
I mean, probably my only piece I could really do a control burn and probably not get away from me be my bigger part when I have a huge ravine going through the middle of it.
Yeah.
I mean, start it on my north end and work it hopefully south. I get a good north wind going south or south wind going whatever that is. And
Yeah.
it might work really good on that because there's a creek on one side, it would hit the creek and probably stop right there. Then you got the field on the other side where you can just rip it up right on the edge, just keep it contained in the middle. I mean, I think that would be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because, I always get a kick out going to Missouri, When you get about, 30 minutes into Missouri, you can see through them timbers.
Right.
And everything. And I'm like, I remember that 20 years ago.
Yeah. It's to see timber, and I find this a lot trying to get set up, if we're trying to make a move, if we're trying to get closer to a particular deer. It's hard to get it set up with a firearm where it's like, all right, he's crossing through this holler somewhere. If we get in this position, we can cover the holler. When it's that thick, it's hard to find no setups.
Oh, yeah. It's like I was telling you on the Eldred Bluff, you shoot that whole holler.
Yeah.
And now you can't even see down that holler.
Right.
It just blew my mind how fast that invasive species came through. And they brought it in, I'm pretty sure, as supposed to be an animal feed or something like that.
I think erosion resistance was the intended purpose, but
resistance.
I don't know. I hope it's not. They could have for animal feed, but like Grant Woods, that guy, the guy out of Missouri, he's someone I consider, to really know what he's talking about. He says it's low nutrition value.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it might be low nutrition value, but I see them eating it a lot.
Well, that's like my brother this year. We cut some honeysuckle out, and it was in the middle of the field for a little bit, and them deer walked right up to that honeysuckle pile and were just eating off them leaves off of it.
Yeah.
And I've seen in some of your places that have cattle that run cattle hard through there, you could see through them timbers.
Yeah.
Them cattle will stomp that down because that root system is not big.
Right.
I mean, you can pull that out with a four-wheeler if you wanted to. I read an article with a guy and a retired guy and his wife did a 40-acre piece of timber. It took them 10 years to eradicate that honeysuckle.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And I don't got 10 years.
Right. Right.
And the fire or the spray, the chemical for it would be a great option for myself.
Yeah. So the challenge with the glyphosate, and I'm not saying that you can't do it, but I've just seen it to where people that want to get it done, I think there's a lot of people wanting to get it done. So getting in
is hard.
Yes. And then if you have a follow-up spray, you got to get in twice.
Well, and you got to wait for conditions. They're got to be perfect. No wind over 15 mile an hour. Then you can't even get up to your fence line because they have to be a 40-yard or 40-foot buffer. I can't remember what it was because I think I was talking to Luke and he was telling me I was on the list. You only get 1 month.
Yeah.
And I didn't make that I didn't get on that list that month.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's on the list next year for it.
Yeah. And, you're talking about cleaning up your fence lines. And it probably sounds like I'm trying to convince you. I think I wrestle with it because I want to burn more stuff. But with February and March, kind of, being a little bit slower times, maybe not for everybody, depending on what your work is or whatever. But February and March, let's just say there's less stuff to hunt. You're either snow goose hunting or coyote hunting and then
I enjoy my coyote hunt a lot.
Okay, yeah,
We enjoy that.
all right. So, yeah, I just with regard to timing, it seems like there's a little bit more viable. When you're looking at cleaning up your fence lines, getting that stuff dozed out, you're immediately creating a fire break. And you don't have chemical costs, you don't have application costs. You just need you probably need to buy a few 30 packs for, after to treat the friends. But,
For sure.
and I imagine I know that there's a local association for burning where they come out and help and do stuff like that. I don't know if there's any fees associated with it or not, but
I don't know about that. Be interesting to look into, though.
yeah, I'd love to compare the cost of a forester to come out and do it compared to the application too.
Well, that forester would be the only way I would go if I was ever going to log my place.
Oh yeah. All right. So you just touched on a topic that I would love to talk more about.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Coyote hunting.
Okay.
Man, how's it been going for you out there coyote hunting? You having a good year so far?
Depends on the day.
Okay.
Well, I do a little both. I love calling.
Okay.
Which I don't have the thermals or nothing. I really like daylight calling.
Okay.
Me, Benny, and Mitchell Garrison.
Yeah.
We went up the other day. We had one come in on a string.
Okay.
Watch old Mitchell miss that thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is like 40 foot from him. I'm like, come on, Mitch. But we run a lot of dogs too.
Yeah.
Once the deer season's end and everything, and we really love doing that.
Okay. And so, like you said, archery goes out on Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's probably when it picks up in pace a little bit.
Sometimes, usually does. Just depends on where you're at.
Okay.
Because, like, one of the things, like, I've always find a lot of people, they think they ruin their deer hunting.
Right.
And I have not yet to see it. I'd watch deer run around, but then an hour later, them deer will run right back into where they were at. I watch where I go by a farm that we run that block of 30, 40 deer coming out in them fields at night.
Right.
It's just, it gets them stirred up. And I don't drive on anybody that doesn't want to be driven on.
Right.
Yeah, but it's hard you can't control a dog, can't control a coyote.
Right.
And I think I know somebody that took that, wanted to prove a point, and he went out into that block where they were running coyotes, and he sat there, and about an hour later, killed a really nice deer, and it's like,
okay,
it's like I don't know. I get people, I want to kill a deer, do whatever you want, but it's like it doesn't hurt nothing either, though.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same debate in a sense, hunting where there's cattle present.
Oh yeah.
If the cows, which one out of every 5 to 10 times, the cows are right there at base of your stand.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think a deer is going to come weaving through the cattle. But I've been in a stand with the cattle right underneath me, and then 30 yards outside the cattle, here comes a mature buck. Didn't even care that they were there. He was on a mission to do what he was going to do.
Oh yeah.
And the proximity to cows did not matter.
Well, like my brother, when we were still living over in Nebo, we had 150 head of sheep, goats going right through there. And Stephen would remember them deer go right through them sheep and goats like it was nothing else. And
okay.
We had a old llama.
Okay.
He would just run after them and everything.
With So with regard to like, I guess these studies that you see, like Mississippi State, are you a YouTube junkie? Do you kind of go, okay? I YouTube junkie. If I'm driving, I am at a point where I'm trying to listen to more music because I'm listening to too much YouTube. Mississippi State, Whitetail Research University has done a lot of radio collar.
Yeah.
And it seems like, imagine a major disruption to whitetail in their, we'll just call it daily routine. If it's a major disruption, it might take a week for those deer to return back to acting the same as they were before that disruption.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking about dogs chasing coyotes through, I don't think that that's a that big of an ordeal. And I can think of some instances where that would have been really helpful, especially this past season. When it was super cold.
Oh, yeah.
And these deer really were not coming out into the ag. They seemed to be staying into the timber on acorns.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would coyote hunt that before, the night before. That would have been a lot better hunting than, because if they're in this pocket and they're not moving, how do you get in there without them seeing you?
That's like one big problems like we got anymore is trying to access a lot of this ground.
Yeah.
And like you say, you run them dogs so they'll get them deer up and move, and they'll get you in there way easier. And like you're saying, a lot of these deer would not come out of the timber this year.
Yeah,
that is true. Like on the neighbor on my South 40 there,
yeah,
got a blind there. You can see on the neighbor's ridge top. I watched 50, 60 deer go up and down that ridge. I mean, it could have been the same deer, but not one of them came out in my field.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but they just would not come out. And it's like, I don't understand what they were doing in their main acorns. I mean, I think it was a really good acorn crop this year and everything, but it's like, you just watch them all day just going through there. And it's like, come on, man. Just like, one of the guys and their son went back there. That old buck came up to the fence and just would not cross it. He would not do it. And I'm like, that's not the right person to shoot on over there. We don't do that.
Right.
We wait till they're on us.
Yep.
So that boy, he got a chance at him a few days later and actually got to shoot him. So
okay.
So all you had to do is wait. But it's like, I don't understand why that, though, them deer would not come out of the timber, though, this year.
I think it's a couple of different factors, especially if you're talking those gun seasons, that second gun season, and then even into the muzzleloader.
Definitely the second gun season.
One, I think it was so cold that the hierarchy of needs, shelter, becomes that much more important. And I think they'll yard up because they'll better tolerate.
Okay.
So they'll tolerate each other more in a close proximity in those elements. But if you're, talking 50-degree highs, 35-degree lows, they're able to spread out more. They're able to have better space.
Yeah.
And then with the abundance of acorns, I think that in the snow, the acorns might actually be easier to find to feed than if you're talking shelled corn or shelled beans.
Yeah.
If you're talking standing food, we're now entering something else into the conversation.
Yeah.
But, I think it comes down to accessibility to the food and then the shelter requirements is what I saw. Now, I spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff, but, I have not, published any triple blind placebo studies to, understand the efficacy of my beliefs. But
hell yeah,
that's kind of the way I see it. Another interesting thing, I had heard from somebody that, a friend of mine, about one of these TV hunters from Ohio,
Yeah.
and one of their secrets to finding big bucks was coon hunting at night.
You know what? My grandfather said that. He said he's seen biggest deer of his life while coon hunting at night.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he's seen some giants.
Mm-hmm.
And I will agree with that. Because, Grandpa, he only coon hunted. I don't think he deer hunted much. And he's like, I've seen some of the biggest deer I'll ever see. And you can walk right up to them, and they just were not scared of you.
Right, because it's at night or something. I mean, let's face it, you could probably get closer to a deer at night than you can in the daytime when you're not trying to hunt them, right?
Yeah.
But just in regular circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
you get to find out where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
all while, chasing coons, which are a nest predator. They're damaging to crops. Like,
Well,
that's a win-win.
That's like the same thing coon hunting, running dogs or coon hunting, you don't disturb them deer doing that. That's, in my mind, the same thing with the coyotes with that. So, you're not disturbing. You're going to push them away. Most deer, they'll watch them dogs, and coyotes just walk right by them, and they'll just move on by them, It's kind of neat to see that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my last hunters was talking about, he had a doe come out, and she was looking behind, and he was hoping that it might be another deer.
Mm-hmm.
It ends up, it was a coyote. He was tracking her.
No kidding.
One coyote on one doe.
Mm-hmm.
It better be a pretty sly coyote, I think, to take it down. But he in fact was following her, and I just think that they coexist so closely that people might not understand, how often they run into each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said that, well, my buddy Caleb, he was hunting on my farm, and he was watching like 3 or 4 coyotes chasing deer all day.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, does, just dogging them hard to try to get one killed. And you need to take out your predators.
Yeah.
If you ain't going to get much of a fawn crop, which I know some people don't like your farmers, that they're like, kill every one of them,
Right.
But it's like, I enjoy seeing my deer, my deer herd grow and everything like that. And hopefully get some nice ones come into the picture too.
Yeah. Well, let's take another break, hear a word from the sponsors, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the WJBM Outdoor Show, brought to you by Midwest Tractor Sales in Jerseyville. We're coming to you from the WJBM studios in Jerseyville, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I'm Aaron Quillan. I operate Monarch Rivers, where the mission is simple: kill big deer. For anyone joining late, Travis T-Bone Smith has joined us today, and we're talking a lot about deer hunting and predators, and then some of the advantages to predator hunting and the effects on your deer hunting being positive, which, T-Bone, I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I'm not going to coyote hunt, during the rut.
Oh, yeah.
When we're at peak season. But I tell you, when you have an opportunity to run the woods and get out there, all the time, anytime I go into the woods, whether it's recovering a deer, I'm looking for sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for, all right, where could this buck be hiding? And what a great opportunity to get out there, maybe have a distraction with the dogs, maybe just, have a reason to go in there.
I enjoy, the last few years, I've been enjoying just walking in there and just seeing like the terrain and seeing what the deer are doing out through there. Because like, if you ever like watch the, like when them dog hunting, like on them tracking, you'll see them big runs.
Uh-huh.
If you ever pay attention to those runs, them big bucks will go down them runs too.
Mm-hmm.
Where them coyotes are going through them all the time. Back and forth through there when the dogs are chasing them. More than likely, you're in a good spot for deer hunting too. Like running, for nice deer.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed with the last few years. I've been kind of watching those them runs on them GPS, and it's kind of helped my hunting just a little bit better, and it's always been interesting to do that. And
That's a great point. That's a great point. So what you're saying is when you have your dogs and they're hunting, whether it be coyotes or coons, the paths that they take are going to be like the path of least resistance, which kind of shows you the way that ultimately anything's going to move through the area, and helps increase your knowledge of the area based off of just watching the GPS.
Oh yeah. It's like I got I got like 2 ravines on both sides of my my main field. And on that one side, them coyotes will just run up and down through there, and you just go down in there, and there's trails from the top edge of the field all the way down to the bottom, paralleling that field. And it's kind of hard to hunt because it's thick down in there, which hopefully going to be getting one of them bobcats with them whatever them
like a
shredder.
mulcher head?
Yeah, mulcher head, because there's a lot of junk little trees like honeysuckle, locusts, and everything like that, but there is a lot of grass down there.
Yeah.
So hopefully if I get rid of all them trees, keep the nice ones, I like my hard oaks and my walnuts and everything like that, hopefully get that to grow back up, and let's start taking off not the undesirable trees like your locust, which I got a lot of those.
Okay.
Hedge, you got a lot of hedge, and and of course a lot of honeysuckle.
Yeah. That it's the honeysuckle's definitely a problem.
But back to that, I mean, just watching that's made me a little bit better over the years, watching them GPSs and everything. It's kind of neat, and it really does help your deer hunting out quite a bit, because you, like you said, they're going to go the path of least resistance, and usually that's where a nice buck will go through too eventually.
Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, so I want to ask you this. If you were to be someone that said, hey, I want to try coyote hunting, how would you recommend somebody get started?
Depends on how you're wanting to do it, you know. I mean, if you're wanting to see some action, go hop in a truck with a guy that runs dogs, and hopefully it's a great day, and and it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see 10, 15 coyotes in one day, I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But if you're pleasure, you know, you just want to be by yourself, sit back, go buy that nice collar, spend the money on a nice collar.
Okay.
And just go and just learn and figure it out. I mean,
yeah.
Because like I bought one of them Alpha Dog.
Okay.
And it's a 3 speakers on it. It's a nice little collar, and I just learned and usually do all right. I mean, not every set's going to get you one either, though.
Right.
That's the thing is, like, you got to do, it might be out of 10 sets, you might get only one to work, you know? I mean, hopefully you have a lot of ground that you'll be able to hunt.
Right.
That's a big positive. And right there, I was fortunate enough, like I said, on my old job, there's 1,800 acres in Eldred, and then almost 3,000 acres in Whitehall.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to have different places to go and everything like that. And I love calling. It's always been dear to my heart.
Okay.
Me and old Benny, we'll go out there, and some days we're like, why are we even here? You know, it's negative 20 degrees, 40-mile-an-hour wind, and the colder it is, them coyotes are hungry. Yeah. So they're going to come into something, and just get ready, because it could even be like that. Me and Benny, we were hunting, and I messed up. I went to sit down, and I pushed play on my collar. Didn't even mean to go, and coyotes started beelining to us. And that was probably one of the fastest hunts I've ever been, not even 30 seconds. I mean, It could be just like that, or you're sitting there, and because I like doing about half hour to 45 minutes. If they ain't coming, if they ain't in there by then, you move on, go to the next spot.
All right.
I mean, you just, usually if they're there, they're coming in hard.
Okay. I think that's good advice, because I think one of the things that people might struggle with is how long do you sit and call?
Well, one of my biggest things is like the thermal hunting.
Yeah.
It's almost ruined the daylight calling anymore because the coyotes are so call broke.
Gotcha.
I mean, and them coyotes, I mean, like, they know what a call sounds like.
Yeah.
So I try switching it up. Like, I bought another collar. I'll put 2 collars out there just to try to get a different sound out there and everything. And because, like, on my alpha dog, I hate the howls on it.
Gotcha.
The howls this seems screechy to me, and I just don't like them.
Yeah.
But then I bought that Fox Pro.
Yes.
Love them howls on it. It's really good on that.
Okay.
And I put both of them out there, and
you can play DJ.
Yeah, DJ pretty much out there, and we enjoy doing that. Like, we went to daylight calling probably a couple weeks ago, and this did a bunch of howls. They finally would answer us.
Okay.
And it's kind of really cool when they're coming in and like just barking at you.
Yeah.
And like challenging you. You're just trying to make them mad. And that one never actually came in. I don't know if I overdid it, got excited or what. That's one thing. You can't overdo it either.
Right. But they're also coyotes, so they're tricky. Just like any of these things that we like to hunt.
Like bobcats. You have to constantly call on a bobcat. Like, if you do have one come in, turn that call off. That cat will just stop, won't move anymore. Turn that call back on, he's on the move again. And coyotes, you kind of want to turn it off when you see them. Hopefully you got like a little, I don't know, rabbit or something out there for them to fix their eyes on that, and so you can get it ready, and hopefully they keep on rolling in. Yeah. Cats, you gotta constantly call them. Okay. Which I haven't called a cat in a few years, but now that we get the tags, those are always really cool to have also. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to get a tag the first year they came out. Nice. And my brother got one a couple years ago, and I got another one. I always put my money in. It's only $5. Right. I always wanted to get one, and we got when I got the tag, never got to kill one. That's how it goes, right? But my brother was fortunate enough to get himself one, but... All right. Well, we're at time, man. I appreciate you so much coming in. I appreciate you inviting me here. Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing the stories and the knowledge, and I look forward to the next time. Me too. This was really fun. Good.